Hello everyone. I guess it's been a while since I last did a long, chatty, unedited video, and I guess it's been nearly 2 months. I just wanted to have this session because I have been getting so many emails from you saying, where have you been? We want to have the lengthy chats, okay? Those people versus the ones who say, give it everything to us, everything in like couple of minutes and in bullet points, fast, because we have very short attention span. Well, here it is, unedited, unplugged. I wanted to start with the positive, actually positives, and then from there go into the obstacles we have been facing, what those obstacles are. And what I'm talking about here has to do with local activism, statewide activism, because as you know, for the past 7-8 months, since last June, that will be June 2020, I've been talking about the fact that there is only one viable path we have left, at least here in the United States. And that is, that path goes through our states. I have had several videos talking about this, okay? So I don't want to go ahead and rehash everything. The fact that the courts, federal courts, by now, I guess everyone should know, they are all kangaroo courts. So to place our hope on some court legal battle, okay, some sort of a judiciary path, it's either very ignorant or I don't know, it's a waste of time. And I see that despite the fact that we have had this illustrated to us with 100% certainty, there are still so many people, millions of people out there who still believe that we can go and fight these battles, okay, in their courts, on their turfs. So instead of trying to persuade these people, because if they haven't seen it, okay, by now, hello, I mean, we had the president of this country with unlimited budget of tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and the top law firms in our nations coming to the same conclusion, saying there are no independent courts out there. So if he couldn't do it, believing that we should go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and hire attorneys and engage in this battle, okay, this extremely important battle on their turfs, in their turfs, their kangaroo courts, I'm not going to try to persuade those people because, as I said, if they haven't woken up and smelled the not very good smelling flowers, roses, I don't know what would. The other, again, misplaced hope, ignorant hope, naive hope, has to do with the faith in our election system. We are just done with one, illustrating again to our nation, all of us, everywhere, that chapter has been closed, okay? That our salvation is not going to be through some elections. It is not going to happen. No way, okay? No ifs, no buts about it. It is not going to happen, no matter what, at this stage, in this era. Yet, I see and hear from so many people who are already focusing on, zeroing in on the next election in 2024. their energy, their focus is placed on yet another election, nationwide election, okay? Presidential election. If it weren't so troubling and so sad, I would have said, hey, it is so hilarious, funny. But no, I'm not in the mood to laugh about it, and I don't find it to be funny. In fact, I find it to be extraordinarily damaging. Is it some sort of a tactic being designed and implemented from the above, you know who I'm talking about, to distract this nation again with these election shenanigans? Is it that? Or is it truly the case of people being still asleep? I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to spend my time here or your time here talking about that. So with all those once upon a time, maybe channels that we got used to thinking of them as these are the paths, these are the things we do for our interests, okay, for our nation's interests, for our nation's people's interests, not the handful of few billionaires, mega corporations, the deep state actors. It was the United States Congress, right? It was the elections, it was the courts and the Supreme Court, the super kangaroo courts. Let me put it that way. Back to now, back to current time, I kept saying, of all the things that I see, and I've been in this for a long time. Those of you who know me, you know that I have been through all the courts, including the Supreme Kangaroo Court, okay, in Washington, D.C. I have marched the halls of our United States Congress, I think more than many activists in our country during that time period between 2002 and 2008. So yes, I know a thing or two, and not only theoretically, based on experience, okay? Also, I'm an analyst. That's my nature, that's my job, that's my skill. I'm an analyst. So sitting here for the last year or so and looking at the facts on the ground, okay? What's happening, what we are facing, okay? What are they doing to us? What are we not doing in response to what they're doing to us? I came to this conclusion that there's only one viable path, and that is, instead of trying to take on this totally co-opted, okay, beast that has already implemented a coup through the US Congress and the courts, we need to think bigger in smaller terms, meaning our local city, towns, and our states, and go about countering this, what we are seeing, this battle against humanity, this war against freedom, our rights, most importantly, our human rights, is going to happen by going about it bottom up, okay? It starts with one state, it goes into 2 states, then it becomes 5 states. There are many states. Many states with people who have had enough, and they want to see a real change. And they know that, like me, the path to get that doesn't go through Washington, D.C. They came up with this slogan with the United Nations saying, oh, the world is bigger than G5, okay? Wow, the United States of America is much bigger than Washington, D.C., and a handful of uber billionaires who have taken over, okay? Much bigger. And look at the numbers. We are looking at least 70, 80, 90 million people in our country. And with that, we can get a lot of things done. This is why I started forming, because I have been in Florida since May 2020, and I'm a resident now here. I live here, and I don't like this whole notion of analysts, experts preaching, saying people should be doing this. You gotta do this. But what are they doing, It's hypocrisy. I said, okay, I'm gonna be doing it too. I'm gonna start with my own local town and put my focus as an analyst, as an activist, as a human being who wants to be free, who values her rights, right? Here, and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to only say it. Today, actually yesterday, marked the completion of the second month since we started forming here in Florida. We have now entered our third month. So quickly, I'm going to go through a few positives, maybe to give you the encouragement by showing you how much can be done if we have our determination put into it, if we have our willpower, okay, added to it. We can get a lot of things done, even with 1 or 2 or 3 people. And this is why I want to quickly talk about these great positives, to say, okay, I kept looking and looking and looking once I moved to Florida, looking to find some networks, some formalized groups, okay, organizations. And that's what I did for the first 5-6 months, to go and support, because knowing that there are tens of millions of people in our nations, and in Florida alone there are millions of people who feel the same way as I do, as we do, I thought that wouldn't be difficult. And I'm new in Florida, but let me research, let me look, and let me find a place where I can support, and I can do things with, okay? A group, a unity, some sort of a unity. Wow, that was a wake-up call. That was a true wake-up call. I looked, I searched, I dialed people, and I started asking people, who's doing what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, okay? Nothing. I'm talking about who's doing what, meaning people on our side. Us. We are the ones who want our constitutional rights, our human rights, us. You know what I'm talking about. On the other hand, here in Florida, as I was searching for a group to support, or an organization, a network, established network here, I found dozens and dozens and dozens of NGOs and networks and groups, totally united behind the scenes, made of people, those people who are on the other side, the opposite side of us, the ones who are asking for more muzzling and more caging via lockdowns, and they want to see our Second Amendment deleted from our nation's constitution. They want our 10th Amendment to be erased. The ones who want to see even references to our founding fathers deleted from our textbooks and our news and our conversation and our knowledge. The cancel culture. They have dozens and dozens and dozens of very well-funded, handsomely funded organizations, networks, great databases, Well, that got me thinking, and I realized, because I was doing this in Washington, D.C. 25, 30 years ago. I realized that the invaders, unless you want to call them coup makers, whatever you want to call them, go ahead, call them. They've been working towards this. It's not something that they gained overnight or over a year or even a decade, right? They've been slowly putting those little pieces of bricks, let's call them bricks, even though it should be called something really pejorative, in place, and with the cement in the middle, so they're cohesive, kind of connected behind, for over 3 decades. Look at these NGOs, a lot of them been around for over 3 decades. Not hundreds of millions of dollars during these 3 decades, billions of dollars have been poured into these networks and front organizations for the deep state. They didn't do it for nothing. It's like some sort of a charity work. No, they had a plan. They were determined, right? They were willful. They had a design, they had their steps, and they stuck with it, and they made it happen over 3+ decades. That's why we are where we are. While they were doing that, what was our side, the majority side, doing? People, simply put, who value their nation's history, their constitution, their constitutionally guaranteed rights, the right to be a human being, the right to breathe freely, the right to raise our children the way we the people, we the parents see fit. Talking about those rights. You know that right now there are at least 70, 80 million people who are right now nodding. They're on our side. What have we done for the past 3 decades? While I'm going to say the enemies, you don't like it, call them something else. While the other side, the opposite side, the enemies, the invaders, the coup makers, they put these ingredients together to screw us, to deprive us of those rights that we thought were guaranteed under our Constitution as human, not only as Americans, as human as well. You know what we did, our side? We did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zilch. I invite you to look around. I invite you to run research and run a search online. If you want to go to library, do it. Be my guest. You want to go and dig up archives, please do that. See how many well-organized networks, organizations, groups you can find, put in place, cohesive, well-funded, with great database, all the expertise, all contained within it. How many can you find? I have found none. I have found none. That's why we are where we are today. That's one of the top most biggest reasons we are where we are today. So helpless, running around like headless chicken, panic. What are we going to do? They have the social media. Of course, they have the deep state billionaires, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc., Google, Apple, Amazon. They've got those. They were able to, like this, kick us all out of there, censure us 100%, gag us, let's put it that way. Okay, they've got mainstream media in its entirety, okay, all of it, including Fox News, all of it, under control, all co-opted. They are like stenographers working one way, one way, the deep state way, the invaders, the coup makers, the enemies way, okay? One way. the entire mainstream media landscape. They have taken over. Given, of course, it is completely given the bought out representatives, I have called in my previous episodes the whores, not to be cute, but within the analogy of the pimps, lobbyists, and the whores, hookers, and the Johns being deep state, because they are serving the deep state. They have co-opted them, and you know that already. And all the networks and the NGOs and the foundations. That leaves us with what? Of course, you know, we have our faith, we have our we have our will, we have our determination, we have our values, be it our family values, be it our business work ethics and business values. We've got those. But we find ourselves in this position of, we want to do something about it. I know you do. I know I do. I know we do. And there are no infrastructure business out there, right? There's no infrastructure. There are no roads built where we can actually line up on that road to move towards our objectives of being free, regaining the rights that were ours, okay, that they took away, to counter them, to defeat them. So that's the position I found myself in by November, early December. I mean, I went to some group meetings here and there, good people, well-intentioned people, but I have to throw in that analogy again. I have been looking at many good people with great intention running around in circles like headless chicken. I want you to visualize that, because that's exactly what we look like without that infrastructure, without that methodology. See, they have had methodology, right? They had the method, they had the blueprint, they had the plans, and then they had all the front NGOs and the media and the alternative, all those ingredients they put in place with that method based on the main blueprint that all of them agreed upon. And so far, not saying permanently, so far they have won. They have been winning. They have taken over the academia, media, publishing houses. Wait, I'm not going to be pessimistic. I'm not saying it's a done business. What I'm saying is, while they were doing that, we did nothing, okay? We did nothing. I have been having this conversation over nice dinners, in social gatherings, with conservative people. I'm not going to call Republican because, pooh, I hate this party system. I totally loathe this illusionary differences of red and blue. Believe me, there is none, okay? Now, for us with values, we can say we are conservatives, right? Or libertarian-leaning people. Independent-minded without really fitting into either category. That's why I'm saying right now, conservatives, right? During these dinners, what they tell me is, well, the left did all those stuff, yeah, and etc., but we were busy raising our family, building our businesses, you know, providing livelihood, income. You know, we are business-minded people and family-minded people, so that's where we put our focus on. Okay, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but look, with what they are doing, they are taking away your businesses. How many of our businesses been bankrupted with their design? Yeah, the COVID craze and the mandated caging, mandatory caging and mandatory lockdowns and curfews. Right. Look at your children who can't even go to school, or if they go to school, now they are being forced to wear these muzzles, 2 layers now they are recommending, so they are deprived of oxygen. It's human rights violation, okay? It's a type of a child abuse. It is a child abuse, this practice of getting these children deprived of oxygen, breathing their own mucus, okay? Their own mucus, their own bacteria coming out of their mouth and saliva and their snot for 8 hours a day. That's criminal. That is child abuse, right? Look what they're doing. Your kid cannot even say if he's a boy or a girl. He has to say, I'm X, because they are dictating that he or she says that. You see, they took over our schools, our children's education path, let's put it that way, which is now, there is one path as far as that goes. The schools is the indoctrination camps. Let's go ahead and not sugarcoat it and just say it, okay? Let's just go ahead and say it. So yes, I'm not saying it is wrong or it was wrong and it was a mistake that we, the conservatives, put our energy solely on raising our family and making money, trying to make money and work ethics. But you can't do that. All of your focus. While your enemies, the enemies that stand against everything you're working for, the hard work ethics, etc., the enemies who stand everything you stand for in terms of your family values as parents, right? While they were building that, to come and take away that, for us to say, that's fine, we're just going to go ahead and raise our family and work and make money and maybe go to church every Sunday, but that's it. You can't do that, because when you do that, voila, here what we see. Look what you see. What do we have? What do we really have left? Not too late. Wake up call. Ringing the bells. Multiple bells, okay? Here they are. That's why I came to a point where in December 2020, I said, well, since there are no any cohesive groups structured, even with something with a resemblance of a structure, I'm going to start my own little group of 3, 4, 5 people here locally and see what happens, right? As soon as I started doing that, this would be around 2nd, 3rd week in December, my account on Twitter with 55,000 followers, 10 years it's been around, bam, got suspended because I was talking about organizing locally, states' rights, and they didn't like it. They didn't like it. Which told me, what did it tell me? It told me that I was on the right path, right? Look, if they don't perceive you as a threat, or what you're talking about, what you're doing, what you're proposing to do, what you're trying to get people to do with you, if they don't consider a threat to censure you so in panic, because it got attention, the fact that they wiped out my account, that means you're on the right track. You are scary. That means that's exactly what we should be doing, right? You get my drift, you catch my drift, right? Okay, so I started a new account on Twitter, called it the Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity. I'm doing this in Naples. People, let's get together. It's time to go back to basics, right? They're taking away all the social medias. They're doing that. We can get together as people. It's a good thing to do. Be connected, okay? They want to lock you down. They want you shut you down, put you on curfews, cover your faces. They are trying to prevent this connectivity. They don't want to see people connected. They don't want to see people networking other than their people via their NGOs funded by their foundations, okay? As I was putting this stuff, 3rd week in December, I got one of my new followers. At the time, my new account had maybe 20 people following me, going from 55,000, which is fine. all of them here in Florida, because I kept talking about we need to do stuff locally in Florida. Ray Tatis, hi Ray, and he said in a direct message, he said, well, I would like to do a logo for your network. I said, well, I have a network of 5 people, but okay, why not? Cool, right? So he put together this created this very nice logo that is Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity, Insane Mandates. He's an artist. And he said, now you can put that on your Twitter. I said, cool, that's great, thank you. And I did. But that got me thinking. I said, you see how things become catalysts? I don't believe in coincidences. I mean, he was like this little guardian angel, not little, he's very tall, sent because he triggered something, okay? He was a catalyst for something inside me, that gesture, that kindness, offering this logo, okay, for me, Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity, got me thinking, and I said, well, why don't I, since there are no real networks really structured, and I haven't found any, why don't I start creating a database of people, not only in Naples, but throughout Florida, like-minded people, I know there are millions of them out there, and call it FOAMI, Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity, the database. So I went and researched and got a database and the form and figured it out how to make it work, and started collecting other people throughout Florida who want to be part of this, saying we say no to mandated caging, lockdowns, mandated curfews. We say no to mandatory muzzling. You should wear mask, double layer mask up to here, and it's mandatory even though all the scientific data, all the available data, science, facts show that there is no correlation. In fact, it does not protect you from catching this particular COVID flu. Within a week or two, we became something like, I don't know, 350 of us. And this is around end of December. And it was so hard because I had this really long link for people to click to go to the form and add themselves there. So I said, you know, we need to have a website. To make the long story short, okay, in 2 months period, 2 months, 60 days, starting with one person, then becoming 4 or 5 locally, we now have a responsive, interactive website with multiple database connected, all of them managed, okay, FUAMI.org, FUAMI.org. We have about 2,300, 2,400 members from Florida. And even though we keep saying right now we are starting from Florida, we're going to eventually expand and be nationwide, have other states, one by one include other states. We have gotten close to 1,000 people, especially from Ohio, I don't know why, from Ohio and Michigan, sending the form and saying, can we be part of your newsletter? Sure, but I'm keeping them in a different, separate database for the next step. So we have the website, we have 2,400 members of FUAMI. We have had 2 conferences, we have 3 chapters. We have an Orlando chapter, Gainesville, Ocala chapter, and our headquarters here in Naples, Florida. We have had 2 conferences, meetings, and we just put out about 2 weeks ago our petition. Granted, we are almost getting to 2,000. We need millions, not 2,000. And recently, as recent as 4 or 5 days ago, we launched our sub-coalition, which is called Florida Businesses for the American Way. These are the independent small to medium businesses who have had it up to here, who have had it enough, and they do not want to suffer their livelihood, which has been suffering. Some of them are already bankrupt with all these insane mandates, whether it's the caging, whether it's the muzzling, whether it's the distancing, the social mandatory forced social isolations. And we launched that 4 days ago. We have about 22, 23 companies here in Florida who have joined us, saying, I support. Whether I'm a business, and we have businesses that have over 1,000 employees, they are considered medium to large. We have businesses that are just mom and pop shops, with 2 or 3 employees. So it's a combination of both, but they are all uniting with one thing, saying no to these insane mandates against our rights, against our human rights, against our constitutional rights, okay? Against our right to pursue prosperity for our family, for our businesses, for our states, for our nation. Bankrupting our nation's businesses. That's something that the enemies of a nation would do, okay? With all these lockdowns and forced closures. This is not something that will be done by the government or governments that are representing the nation's people. These are the enemies. Only enemies would do that. So, my point being, in just only 2 months with 1 or 2 people, growing to be this, and I'm not saying we are huge. Oh, by the way, we just executed our Fuami Sky campaign. There's going to be several of them, but the first campaign, which was aerial banner, we flew it representing Fuami.org with a message to our politicians here in our state saying, put a stop to these insane mandates now. Fuami.org. We chartered an airplane, thanks to our supporters making it happen by their donations. And our plane last Friday, this would be February 26th, during CPAC, when our governor, Ron DeSantis, was there, and all the representatives, at least the Republicans in CPAC, they all got to see and hear us, okay? Up there with the charter plane, flying pretty low, with this huge banner saying, put a stop to this insanity, to these insane mandates, Fuami.orgs, we the Floridians. And we did that last Friday for 2.5 hours up there. And they're saying the estimated reach was somewhere between 250,000, 300,000 people. Okay, not terrible for a newbie, the new kids on the block. In fact, on a block that there are no kids, unfortunately. So those are some positive developments, because some of you in other states been asking, saying, can you come and start something, especially in Arizona, in Ohio? And I keep telling them, we're going to network, we're going to do and have representation and have part of our networks there. Eventually, we're just starting here. We need to make great amount of progress, okay? Tangible progress, not abstract stuff. Tangible progress to be able to do these things. We can't try to take in too many things at the same time and fail at all of those stuff. I'm trying to be methodical here. You watching our enemies very closely, analyzing them for the past 2+ decades, has given me a pretty good grasp of their inner workings and how they did it, how they've been doing it. I know their formula. Well, some of those formulas are the ones that we should be doing. These are not evil formulas. To say, have a solid, focused plan, okay, people? Don't be like headless chicken. Some group from Sarasota, they're like, oh yeah, we would like to network. Can we join you, and can we do the things together? I keep asking them, I said, can you give me something? What are you standing for? And it was a huge list. Everything was there, every single thing: vaccination, Second Amendment, death penalty, abortion. I just got dizzy. And another group, this is a group of maybe 25, 30 people in another region of Florida. They are like, okay, how can we do something together? I'm like, I would love to do something. You can see everything there on our website. Very clearly spelled out our objectives, WAMI.org, our mission, what we are doing, how we're going to do it, why it's important to unite. Can you give me a place where I can go and see who you are? Because I need to know, we need to know who you are. Well, there is nothing out there online. Well, how am I supposed to know who's legit, who's not legit? How am I supposed to know this particular group is on the pretty solid foundation path, this one all over the map? You know what I'm trying to say? When I say seeing all these headless chicken, there's another group, and they have it in a couple of states, and they have put all their hope, all their efforts, all their energies on a lawsuit or a series of lawsuits trying to win cases in courts. The average time it takes to even come to the evidentiary hearings, right, for these court cases is 2 to 4 years, okay? I have had cases going through courts. I have represented government whistleblowers with court cases. Right now, they are taking away our children's health, our mental health, our livelihood, destroying us, facing this imminent danger of extinction. In many ways, it's an extinction. And you're telling me to put all this money, they are feeding these attorneys hundreds of thousands of dollars, raising money, going to courts, with everything stacked up against us, their courts. These are the kangaroo courts that I just referred to at the beginning of this report. And it's on some hope that 4 years from now, maybe something good will come out of kangaroo courts, which is okay. I can't subscribe to that. Are they well-intentioned? Yes, absolutely. I so want to sue these companies, bring legitimate lawsuits against these companies that are making their employees wear these masks 8 to 10 hours a day. It's against even OSHA's laws, regulations, right? But you have to see what is imminent, okay? What are the short-term plans to get yourself to start from nothing? Because as I said, the conservatives, the rights have done nothing. I mean, yes, we have raised families, etc. As far as activism, networks, uniting so we can counter these attacks, nothing, absolutely nothing. I mean, don't come and say, Koch brothers, please. Some window dressing under the guise of being conservative, poo to that. And I'm saying literally poo to that, okay? Republican Party. Please don't get me started on that. I mean, even the libertarians, because there are so many notions in there that I completely support, but the party, the entire fragmentation within the whole libertarian groups, there are already so many groups. One is against, I mean, forget it. Headless chicken. Cluck, 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 going around, headless chicken. That's what we are seeing. That's what you will see if you look. It's not too late. It is not too late. The negative part and the positive parts, I think I covered. The positive part, look how much can be done in just 2 months with just one person and a few local meetings per month with 4 or 5 people. To get with this high speed, okay, this much in 2 months. Imagine how much we can do if our numbers, instead of being 2,300, is 230,000. Our budget, instead of being $10,000, $15,000, is in hundreds of thousands of dollars. They have the media, we'll have our trucks all over the state, okay, every state. Hundreds of them, because we have many of the truckers on our sites and many of the businesses who own trucks, despite their party, despite their party, because you know one of the things that you figure out right away, you find out that profit making your business successful, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not talking about mega corporations, I'm talking about mom and pop shops. Your profit margins, your success as a business, which translates, what is translating into success in a business? It's the money, right? It's the money that you work hard, you make profit, so you can have a better life. Your employees hopefully will have a better life. So it's all about money. It's measured in terms of money. Well, I tell you what, when it comes to profit and money are they're nonpartisan, okay? They are nonpartisan. You have restaurant in state XY or in a city near Miami out there where you are shut down your cafe or a restaurant because you can't even afford having this ludicrous, unscientific distancing, etc. And you go bankrupt. Oh, you may get a few welfare checks from the feds given in the way of bribery to the heads of your states, our states, including our governor. Welfare checks of maybe $1,500, $2,000, and there's your hundreds of thousands of dollars worth business has gone bankrupt. You're going to tell me that is a partisan issue? Pooh, not. It's not. It's not partisan. Your kid commits suicide. Look at the suicide rate for children, especially teenagers, 100% attributed to the lockdowns, these masks, and these insane caging and mandates. Your kids commit suicides and you're destroyed for life when your kid commits suicide. Are you going to tell me that it's going to be a partisan issue? That you're going to suffer less if you're this party and you're going to suffer more if you're that party? No. It's nonpartisan. Us valuing our children and their welfare, their well-being, their health, mental health included, not a partisan issue. So, yeah. Imagine what we can accomplish together. Right now we have 22 businesses, some of them major, very big, some of them small, mom and pop, proud American mom and pop shops, right? Entities. Imagine when they become 220 and then 2,200 and then becomes 20,000 businesses in the United States, united under the same common objectives. We value our rights. We say no to these insane fascistic mandates, period. No ifs or buts about it. You know what we can do? Sure, they've got Soros and Bill Gates and Rockefellers and the Zuckerberg. So they have a dozen max of evil-doing mega billionaires, right? In this nation, in our nation, in the United States of America, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of businesses, companies, joined under the same umbrella, right? FWAMI, Businesses for the American Way. We will dwarf them. These businesses are the backbone of our nation, economy. Our truckers, they want to mess with us? Our truckers and us shipping from our food bowls things to places, you know which places I'm talking about? They start messing with us. We can unite, coordinate. That's why we need to have the infrastructure and bring them to a point of starvation until they give up, until we defeat them. I'm not saying let's kill them. I'm just saying it translates to power. Power. That's one thing we haven't had. We have been powerless, even though we are sitting on the potential of the biggest power in our nation, okay? The nuclear power in our nation compared to them. Why? Because for 3 decades plus, they worked towards this. We put the blinders on. We didn't do anything. And it's not too late. It is not too late. Now, all of you who have been asking me, I'm in Michigan, I'm in Ohio, I'm in California, I'm in Alabama, and I want I want to be part of this. I want to do something. You can, please. We need businesses. We need sponsors. We need millions of people. We have them, okay? We have millions, tens of millions of people. We need to have the infrastructure. We need to have the umbrella. We need to have the network and the plan and the blueprints and the database and the managing of these databases to do what they did in 3 decades in, believe me, if we were to get together, we could do it in 6 months. What they did in 3 decades. See, we can learn from the enemies. With willpower, with determination. If I could do this much, and I'm not saying, woo, how big, how great we are. I'm not saying that. If I could do this much in 2 months, in only 2 months, multiply that. How much we can get done together. Forget about the kangaroo courts. Forget about chasing the courts. That time will come. You can even start it and let it brew because it's going to take 4 years minimum, okay? Forget about the elections. People, I kept saying we were under coup. We were under an active coup 6 months, 7 months before the elections. Nobody wanted to really believe it. And I kept saying, people, when you have a coup in action, you never have elections. There are no elections, real elections, in coups. In countries, nations under coups. Ask me, been there, done that. I have seen actual real coups more than once overseas. See, our deep state used to do it outside. You know, they say you don't crap where you eat, not in your own backyard, right? They were doing it in other people's backyards. Then they got enough hubris and their timing and their design came to the level, to that level that they wanted to get to say, now, let's bring it home, baby. It's time to screw Americans. This is the last bastion. You know, with all the Constitution for them, the nonsense, this preventive thing, Second Amendment, First Amendment, let's do it here. They're here in our backyards. And they are implementing it, and they are implementing it very speedily. Please don't wait. We are not facing some inconvenience of less oxygen by 30% of wearing muzzles. Okay? We are not only facing that threat. We are not only facing the threats of our mom and pop shops, our independent businesses. They have designed it. They want to wipe them. They want to wipe them out because they want this entire nation, the globe, in the hands of a few dozens of mega corporations, okay? And they're coming artificial intelligence, etc., etc. There is no room in their plan for the independent American businesses. That poops into their plans. They need to go. Hey, enter COVID, right? Tomorrow it will be global warming. You're going to shut down your business. Your carbon footprint is 0.1% above what it should be. And with what you're doing, running your business and baking your bread this way, we are going to have all our ice in this bowl melt under a hot August sun. They can make up shit and people will fall for it because, as Hitler said, you repeat the same lie, same bullshit, same crap repeatedly, 100 times, 150 times, which they are doing via CNN and NPR and New York Times and Washington Post and the rest of the parasites, right? You do that and people are gonna see it as gospel truth. Look at the ones who have doubled, tripled up their muzzles there, right? Walking around like zombies. They can't show you one data, factual, scientific data saying this is going to save their lives. They can't even show you a factual data that says their life is being threatened by some flu. Because 99% of our population's life is not threatened by the flu. There's no difference between this one or influenza. And influenza is the same thing. What I'm saying is today is COVID, tomorrow is going to be a superbug influenza, the next is going to be global warming. They're not going to rest. So we are facing extinction. You don't know what they're putting in those flu shots that they're making mandatory, the mandatory jabbing. These are the same people who implemented eugenic policies. They, in practice, they by force sterilize people. I'm not saying this one is going to do it, but what I'm saying, we don't know. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. And guess what? I don't know about you, but I don't trust what I don't know. I'm not going to go and get jabbed with something I don't know. It's especially when my chances of getting that and dying is far less than my chance of dying with lightning strike in a football field out there. Did you know that? You should see some of the infographics we have posted. Scientific data, go check it. And it tells you what the chances are. So we are facing extinction not from the flus or superbugs, okay? Super enemies. But together, we are far more super than all of them combined. And you know it, and I know it, and we need to do it. The time is now. We are facing imminent threat. I'm not here to sell you fear porn because there is nothing in it for me, okay? I'm in it for my family and me and all of us. My daughter is currently being homeschooled. I'm not gonna engage in child abuse, send my kid with double layers of vaccination and the mask, actually the mass vaccination now for this flu is triple, you have to have 3 doses. I'm not gonna go along with any of those. I'm homeschooling during extremely hard time for my family. I'm a person who has been traveling 4 to 5 times, just the overseas part, because that's part of me. And I have been deprived of the things I want to do in life. And I know it's not temporary. I know more is going to be taken away. You think you're safe with homeschooling? Because I don't think we are safe. Because wait, you thought this would be impossible. Look what they have done. Tomorrow when they come to say, hey, it's illegal, because they can make it illegal with new mandates and laws like this for you to homeschool your children. Most countries have made it illegal. It's not legal. They don't have homeschooling in Turkey. Heck, you can. If you start homeschooling, what's going to happen to their indoctrination camp? That's threatening, boy. They can't do that, right? So millions of homeschoolers in our country, are you listening to me? It's going to be illegal. First, it's going to start with some mandates here and then it's going to be law. And that Supreme Kangaroo Court is going to put its stamp of approval. Bam! Right there. Imminent extinction. Imminent extinction, and I am not selling you fear porn, okay? I'm telling you imminent extinction. And when we face that, we don't have that luxury of, oh, maybe I will do it. Oh, maybe I will sign a petition for Washington, D.C. Oh, maybe I will vote differently next time around. You don't do that. Our survival, mine, yours, all of ours, depends on each other. Did you know that? Meaning, we come together, unite with us, unite with me. I'm here. We can do so much. We can do that, and we can counter, we can defeat this. Or we have a choice of not doing it. And we ensure that they're going to come for more and more until we are extinct, one way or another. They have humiliated us enough, and they have made the majority of our population getting used to humiliation. Think of it as a lab, you know, like a laboratory in some university with the hamsters there, or rats. They used us as that, and they measured our tolerance. Boy, we have shown them, we have proved to them that we have huge, wide level of tolerance to take shit from tyranny. That's exactly what the lab results show. We tell them double mask, they go around, they do it, they don't question. They won't look at the data even if it's right there in front of their nose. Because on CNN, we're going to tell them this is going to save your lives. And they're going to buy it because they're stupid, because we've made them stupid. Our indoctrination has made them stupid. they're going to come for more. Don't wait. I'm not here to wake people up, because those who have refused to wake up by now, they will never wake up. That's why I'm not in the business of any longer of informing and educating people, informing them, show them the alternative data, alternative facts. Time for that is over. We are facing imminent danger, imminent extinction. No time to sit down and try to wake up the sheeple who are going along. Too late for them. There are tens of millions of us, though. Not too late for us. Our surviving, our survival totally depends on us coming together, speedily doing 1,000 times of what we did with a handful of people in 2 months. It can be done. It's not only Florida. Those of you who are tuning in from other states, and those of you in other countries, you keep telling me that I have been ignoring you. I haven't been talking about Turkey or Syria or Yemen or Iran and geopolitical analysis. How can I do that? We are facing imminent extinction threat. Extinction of our rights as human. I don't want to live a life where I don't have my freedom as human and my human rights to live my life the way I want, the way I see fit, to raise my child the way I see fit. Why would I want that life? I don't want that life. You just may want to have life no matter how miserable and humiliating slavery it is, but I don't. I really don't. I don't. So those people who are from other countries, imminent extinction. Start the same kind of movement in your countries. Look what's happening in Italy. All these restaurant owners got together and they said, screw it. And they opened the restaurants and say, we are going to operate. Enough is enough. Well, see, civil disobedience needs to be done in billions, because look at the population of our planet, and this is a global disastrous insanity they have inflicted upon all of us around the globe. Okay, we saw people in Denmark. They together, they are protesting, saying, no, we value our rights, our freedom, our human rights. So do that. Nothing stops you from doing what I have done, this little I have done here. You can do in your countries. Please do that. So outside that, other states, yes. If you are part of, not headless chicken, because I mean, time is limited, and taking that phone call when somebody is babbling and yakking about 100 different things and there is no order of any sort, no plan, no real blueprints. I'm not saying don't do it, but please don't bug me. Those of you, reach out. My information out there, fuami.org, F-U-A-M-I, fuami.org. Reach out. Contact me. Support us. I have provided on our website, Fuami, there are like 5 different ways of donations, okay? You can do it via credit cards. You can do it via PayPal. You can send checks to our P.O. box. You can go to GoFundMe, and all of them, except for checks, because it goes to P.O. box. I go check it every 3-4 days. They're registered. So it's transparent how much we are raising. Just go look at it. It's there. Everything out there, transparent. Please donate. Please help us recruit and connect businesses across our nation. I have made that my #1 priority within my Fuami priority. Uniting the backbone of our nation's economy, our businesses, and together we have power. Contact me, list your company. Even if you're an accountant or an attorney, one man or one woman shop, it doesn't matter. Whether you have 5,000 employees, it doesn't matter. All of us. You won't be around. They don't want us to be around. They don't want these businesses to be around. Obstacles must be eliminated. Imminent extinction. Okay, well, if this wasn't chatty enough, I don't know what would be. I tried to be organized for these, but this was meant to be unedited. I haven't done video like this. Go check. I haven't done. Don't take my word for it. I haven't done a video like this for 2-3 months, okay? I have so much more to say, but I'm not going to make it longer. And I also, believe me or not, I have been engaged in biting my tongue, because there are times that I start actually developing blisters all over my tongue from biting it, trying not to unleash the anger, frustration brewing inside me because of those sheeple, those people who are facilitating these evil deeds, these evil plans that are being implemented on us. I just watched this video on Twitter, and they kicked out this family of 3. Their baby is 18 months old. Go look at the scientific data, even for influenza, babies and masks. And the stewardess or the steward on the plane said, no, your child, baby needs to have a mask up to here, pinched here. The parents refused, and they were removed from the flight. And as they were being removed, these despicable bandits with their masks on the plane, they're like, hooray, yay, good riddance. I'm biting my tongue. My nature, I'm Mediterranean, you know, Greece, Turkey, you get the hot-blooded people. I have so much I want to tell those people. I have so much I want to tell those people who sit down and watch people beating up some teenager there for not wearing masks, and they don't lift a finger to do anything. They cheer for it. That's okay. I'll continue biting my tongue. I will, for now. There will be the time for dealing with those people who facilitated this. Yes, and there will be time to deal with those people who implemented these. Not too long from now. Not too long from now. We will never forget. But for right now, join me. Join for me. Support us. Unite with us. Let our numbers achieve millions and tens of millions. Together, we can. And united, we certainly will win. Thank you all.